And when we find ourselves not preparing for that next thing, when we find ourselves not readying ourselves, well, it's really easy to get caught up in the problems of our own life and forget about other people. It's really easy to forget that somebody else needs our attention. Somebody else needs us to just throw the brakes on for a minute, forget about the problems that we're facing, and give a minute or 5 or 10 or 20 to the problems they're facing.
Subscribe now for our extensive video library of leadership lessons promoting faith, family, and freedom.
Ask them how they're doing. Ask them what's going on. Ask them what you can do to help them. Now, trust me, you've got to do that cautiously as an adult, because there will be times that you find yourself delivering the information of what your business is doing, delivering the expectations that you have for your employees, and then asking, how can I help you? And if you're not careful, you'll end up doing their work for them. If you're not careful, you'll end up taking on more burdens from their life than you have in your own life. If you're not careful, you'll end up taking care of them like you have another child to raise. Oh yeah, you'll be paying their bills and buying their groceries and taking care of their family and running back and forth to soccer games. Because in this world of human existence, this life of humanity that we lead, caring about me often looks like taking on my burdens, taking on my worries. I want you to worry as much as I worry. I go back to the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. The look on the boss's face as he gathered around that entire family and they berated him about his Jelly of the Month club as opposed to a financial bonus that was going to put in the swimming pool. He had an entirely different look at the family, an entirely different look at their needs, their wants, their expectations. Prior to that, he didn't care about them at all. He cared about the bottom line. He cared about profitability. He cared about his own bonuses. He cared about his own vacations. And as leaders, we tend to, well, be human. We do the same thing. The real challenge as leaders is, how do we care about someone else and care about ourselves? Well, I heard a guy say one time, he was a counselor of sorts. He said, there's a huge difference between being responsible to someone and being responsible for someone. A huge difference between being responsible to someone and being responsible for someone. See, when you're responsible to someone, the behavior, the thoughts, the attitudes, the actions that take you through your daily life, all of those things are in the best interest of everybody, including the someone that you're responsible to. If you borrow their stuff, if you use their time, if you share their resources, you're responsible to them to take care of those things. You don't borrow somebody's car and then bring it back in pieces. Oh, trust me, I've been there. I had a roommate that loaned out his motorcycle. It was his only means of transportation. He couldn't get back and forth to work without this motorcycle. He loaned it to a guy for a weekend. The guy said, I'll give you $200 to borrow it. He let him borrow it, and he literally brought it back in the bed of a pickup in pieces. The bike was never right again. The $200 that he gave him didn't even come close to covering the damage. The guy had insurance on his bike, but it wasn't full coverage and comprehensive, and since the other guy didn't have a motorcycle license, it wouldn't even cover it. Destroyed his bike and brought it back in pieces. That's not being responsible to the people that you are entrusted by. As a leader, you too have to be responsible. You've got to be responsible for the things that are extended into your trust. It might be those things that are extended to your trust, like their time, their income. Imagine being part of a company like Enron, where people invested their education, They invested their time. They invested their careers. They left other jobs to come to work at a company like Enron, only to realize that the leaders of Enron were scraping money off the top, enriching themselves, becoming criminals, and in the end, everybody that went to work at that company lost their jobs, lost their retirements, lost their savings, and wasted the period of time that they were there. They could have been investing in something that genuinely had longevity. As leaders, you've got to make a concerted effort to care about those things, about the people that are beneath your level of influence, not just the ones you work with daily, not just the ones that report to you, but what impact will you have in layer upon layer upon layer of people? Are the decisions that you're making, the actions that you're taking, the behavior that you exhibit, are those things benefiting multiple levels of people or just you? Oh, I know. It's easy to get distracted. It's easy to be more worried about my bills, my children, my grandchildren. Did I make it to my kid's football game? Did I get the bills paid on time? Did I put enough food on the table for all of them to not be hungry and all the extras that show up at dinner time? It's like having a herd of cats, right? But did I lose my focus on caring about others just to care about my own? Did I get so focused on caring about my own that I didn't care about others? It's not easy because we're all human. It's not easy to care about other people. It's not natural to care about other people, but we must. And as leaders, we have to make a concerted effort to care about other people because it's not easy, because it's not natural, because we have to focus on the bottom line. And truly, leaders have to focus on things that other people don't have to focus on. We have to be concerned about things that others are not concerned about. And we must add that to our capacity to care. We've got to add that to our capacity to care about other people, about their problems, about how we're impacting their lives. And I want to challenge you as leaders to ask yourself, if people come to me to be led by me, whether it's in a mentorship capacity, an organization that I run, or just in society and culture, if someone were to ask them, do you trust them? Do they care about you? Are they concerned with your well-being, short-term and long-term? That they would be able to answer that question in the affirmative. That they would be able to say, yes, I'm firmly convinced they care about me as a person, not just what I bring to the organization, not just what I bring to the bottom line, not just the financial ability to commit, whether it's sales process or production savings or whatever it is. They care about me as a human being. When you can find that to be true and you can still lead your organization in the right direction, you're beginning to master what John Maxwell calls that level 5 leadership, where your capacity to lead doesn't stop with those people that have to report to you. No, it follows you where you go because your capacity to lead and your compassion for people is evident everywhere you go. Now you're beginning to make some ground as a leader. But trust me, it's not easy, it's very demanding, and it requires a concerted effort of you to care about other people, not just for what they bring to the table, but because they're human. Don't use people to make money. Use money to take care of people. And your leadership level, your leadership lid will rise significantly. I'm Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.
Subscribe now for our extensive video library of leadership lessons promoting faith, family, and freedom.
Hi, my name is Christina Knowles, and I just got done taking Jay Loren's Story Power Masterclass. It was amazing. I took away so much information. One of the things that I really enjoyed being formally trained in media many, many years ago is the call to action. I will use that with every speaking engagement, and I'm so grateful that Loren just spoke truth into his teachings, and he is a true professional. And I know this might sound weird, but I've been taking certifications in different classes over the years, and Loren is not boring. I can't even believe I got here at 9, and then the class went by so fast that I was like, it's time to go already? And I was shocked that it was time to go already. So it's an awesome class. You're going to enjoy it, I promise.
Loren is a master teacher on storytelling, and I learned so much. I'm really going to have to sit down and go back through everything, and I think I might have to have some more coffees with Loren, but it was totally